Good afternoon, good morning, everybody. It's Barry Browne, your host of IGEL Weekly. Today is March 29th, 2023. This is episode 75. We made it to the big 3/4 of a century. We're stretching to the goal now. With me on the call here is the IGEL community rock star, Sebastien Perusat. Is that how we pronounce your name?
Pronounce it like you like. Honestly, I had everything from Pertusa, Persusa. Usually you would say Perusa, like Peru and satellite, but in a French pronunciation. But I'm accepting anything. Just call me like you want. Seb is great.
I was actually in Quebec City last week for some PTO with my family, and for those who don't know, Quebec City is a predominantly a French community in Quebec, the province. And I speak very little French, but my daughter and my wife are fluent. And to see the two of them interact with people, in different languages, it's the first time I'd ever seen it. And it kind of blew my mind a little bit. Like, my little 15-year-old daughter running around speaking in different languages, ordering poutine, famous French dish, or Quebec dish. It was mind blowing to see. So I was pretty proud, pretty impressed. And it makes me wish that I kept up French through school, but I could drop it as soon as I could in grade 10.
It's a tough language, to be honest. And by the way, poutine is something that you just get in Quebec. Even in France, no one is knowing the dish. I know that from a podcast that I'm listening to coming from Canada, and I never heard of it. And basically, it's French fries with a sauce, right?
Well, no. Don't.
It's more than that.
Oh, it's a big bowl of French fries cooked in fat oil with a pile of brown gravy on top and big, thick, inch wide cheese curds, and you let it sit for 60, 90 seconds. Let the curds melt a little bit. It's really good for you. It's super healthy. So I highly recommend it.
And then you should also start to smoke and drink alcohol to get even healthier, right?
That's right. And have Big Macs for breakfast.
Wow. Okay, that's impressive. Okay,
so
I definitely have to try it.
Let's get on with let's talk about what the excitement in the air. We're just a few days out from Disrupt. So obviously you went to the event in Munich. So leading into Nashville on Monday, I fly out Sunday. You fly out Saturday, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, we're expanding a little bit the trip. So I'm joining together with Florian Strobel and Michali from product management. So we are starting from different places in Germany, to be more precise. People are starting from Munich, some from Berlin, some from Bremen, myself is starting from Frankfurt. And then we plan to meet on Saturday, correct. But then we said, okay, we have a lot of colleagues like Jeff Feige, Jeff Carberg, Frederick Bradstick, who are already there a little bit early in the week. Why not meeting them? And they were so kind to suggest to make a short road trip together, to take some bourbon with us. That's the reason why I'm starting already tomorrow at lunchtime, my time, and arriving on Thursday evening. Then we have the Friday off, so we will meet with Florian and Michali, and then meeting the Jeffs together with Fred and having a short bourbon too before heading to Nashville on Sunday morning.
So you'll be in Nashville on Sunday when I get there. So what kind of nonsense are we going to get up to? What's planned for the community for Sunday? I know there's something in the works. You want to share the beans?
Yeah, basically we are doing that on Monday. On Sunday, I mean, if we do that on Sunday, I have the biggest fear that I will not be able to attend the first session on Monday. So I cannot afford to do that. So we moved it to Monday evening. I know that XenTegra is also holding a party, so we'll try to combine both worlds together. So we'll first meet at the bar from the community perspective and then crush the party of XenTegra a little bit later on. But basically, the goal is to meet for the first time in my life, at least in the last 5 years, people outside from Europe, from the IGEL community. So the insiders like you, Barry, the VIPs like you, member of the year like you. You were already more or less everything, right? So meeting all the other guys, also David Prowse, just you name them. I mean, so much people from John Twilly, a new IGEL insider. I can't wait for it, to be honest, because after 3 years of COVID, not being able to travel, then cost restrictions, and I mean, we all went through the same process, right? And now finally we can meet together and maybe drink a gin tonic. Did I already mention that I'd like gin tonic? No, I didn't mention it.
I just give me some IPAs all day long. But you made up a good point. Like, I've been part of the community since, essentially day one. And I've met, a lot of people. A lot of people come and go. I've actually met some people in real life, but it's strange. Some of the people I've never met in real life, I consider them friends, and And so I'm excited to
True.
meet them for the first time, shake hands, cheers a beer with them. The power of community, it really is something else. And what we've built, or, credit to you and for Doug for building it, is the community you've built is so sticky, for lack of a better word. It's such it really is a community. And I get up in the morning, I log in, I check my work emails, do my work pieces, and get on the community and see what kind of nonsense I missed out from all the Europeans.
Yep, true. That's a fun fact. I'm always telling there is no I in Azure community, and then I'm saying, okay, there's maybe one or two in them, but saying it's not just one person, two persons, or it's just a group of people who are passionate about end-user computing. And the fun fact is that what we achieved together with you, especially Barry, is to have people from different cultures, from different continents, from different countries, working together on the same topics. And even if we're not in the same time zone partially, we're having a lot of fun. I mean, I wouldn't miss the dad jokes from David Prowse anymore. I couldn't live without them.
Or his gifts are
David, thank you if you're listening to us.
Yeah, he actually does listen. He messaged me the other day saying he was driving in the car with his daughter, the little flashcard that shows up on your radio. It said, IGEL community with Barry Browne, and he said to his daughter, hey, I know that guy. And his daughter said, well, is he famous? I'm like, no, I'm just a guy on a podcast.
Nice.
So just kind of to change, well, not really change gears, but what should we expect from, the community is going to have a presence at Disrupt coming up next week. What should we expect from the community in terms of sessions, events, parties, podcasts, what's going on?
So we'll try to not bother anyone at the Disrupt. I mean, we were looking for that on-site event since before COVID, to be honest. Basically, it's the first one since COVID, at least if we think about the real Disrupt. I'm not speaking about the IGEL Disrupt Roadshow, which happened last year and the year before, which was great, by the way, because even there, you could meet some people. But now it's the real Disrupt back again. And so looking forward to having the plan that we plan for the Azure community, and it's looking like that. So basically we're all arriving on Sunday. So we will have some private parties on Sunday evening, but I will try to get to bed quite early. But we will start officially on Monday. The first session, so really a public session of the whole Disrupt, is our IGEL community one. So I will be delighted to present a few stats. I mean, the IGEL insiders who attend might know already some facts from them, but I will present the IGEL community, what we are doing, what the advantage is to join us, and how to interact with us. And then after, 20 to 25 minutes, we will switch over to a session which was important to me because I know that we introduced a lot of great features in OS 11 and UMS 6 over the last 2 years, but no one noted them because it's just a small explanation part of the release notes, which was mentioning that feature. So I'm going through, I will call it hidden feature that you might have missed, and I will show you how to use them, how to configure them. You might already have known everything from them, but you might maybe get one little piece that you never thought about that I will mention in that session. So that's the first real session. Mm-hmm. But can I give a teaser, Barry, that we would meet a little bit earlier that day, or would you like to take over that one?
No, fill your boots.
Okay, then we will have a great podcast recorded together with Barry and some guests, I will call it this way, on Monday morning. So looking forward to hear that recording because it will be the first time that we will have so much invited person joining the podcast. I will not tell any names, but I would highly recommend to listen to the recording. You will have a lot of fun there, I promise.
First ever IGEL community live podcast coming your way.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be so much fun getting everybody together. Again, no names, but it's going to be a blast.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And by the way, I don't remember when we started. I mean, when XenTegra started under Andy, but it was 2020, if I remember right. So really looking forward to have the chance to discuss with you lively. So that's the session part on the first day. So we start all on Monday, April the 3rd. But at the same time, I mean, not in parallel, but a little bit later on that day, there is a parallel session for the IGEL Ready team. So the IGEL Ready team, for those who are not knowing it, is the team who is taking care of alliances, of hardware and software vendors from our IGEL Ready ecosystem. So I don't know, I will just name Citrix like an example, but we have ThinPrint, we have Imprivata and all the software vendors, but also HP from a hardware perspective, Lenovo from a hardware perspective, LGE, and so on and so on. And all that alliances are managed by IGEL Ready. And IGEL Ready will have a parallel session to our IGEL community one. And I'm delighted to present the IGEL community again to IGEL Ready people and explaining why it makes sense for IGEL Ready to join our program, or if they're already part of it, to keep it lively and moderated.
So it sounds like you're going to have a busy Disrupt coming up. Not only with the community sessions, but you're actually presenting at the event.
Yeah.
Did you get nervous doing that stuff? Just as a quick aside, doing big presentations like that?
Nervous is not the right term. I'm always thinking what could go wrong. So it's a kind of, I'm preparing myself to what is happening if the demo is not working and all that technical approach. But good that you ask. I asked the same question to myself during the last Disrupt event in Munich. So just a short story about the Disrupt event in Munich a couple of weeks ago. I was also the first session of the day, so on Tuesday, so right after the registrations and right before the masterclass of Christian Brinkow from Microsoft. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, oh man, if I can get 100 people joining, I would be more than happy. And then I saw the room filling up, and yeah, I never counted, but a colleague of mine counted, and we had 300 people. And I was thinking, oh damn, that's my new record. Woo, okay, let's work it. I was a little bit nervous, yes, to be honest, and I have a big issue, and I know that it might sound weird to English-speaking people, but I'm speaking extremely fast usually. So I'm trying to slow down now and speak a little bit slower than before. So that was my main goal for that session. And I don't know if I did it well or good, but at least people didn't left the room. So I was thinking, okay, it couldn't be that bad, but let's see. And then I was thinking, okay, we have the award session, but that's a topic I will cover in a second for the Nashville event, a day later. And then it was in front of everyone. So 800 people or 900, something like that. And yes, I was extremely nervous.
That's
because
a lot of
everyone is looking at you. Yeah, I mean, everyone is looking at you and waiting for something fun, and you are just staying on the stage and trying to not thinking of your mother or your father looking somewhere in the crowd. It was extremely fun, but at the same time, yeah, it was my new record, and now I would say I'm just thinking out loud to not saying something wrong, but I'm not so nervous than a couple of years ago.
Right. Okay. So just kind of to follow up on that, for people who haven't been to a Disrupt, you're coming off the back of Munich. What should people expect, when they hit the ground in Nashville in terms of the event?
By the way, that's a really good question that I also asked myself, because it will be my first event in the US in general. So I can tell you what you can expect from a Disrupt event, but from the Disrupt event in Nashville, honestly, I don't know either. But from Disrupt event, now what you can expect is definitely a highly technical fair where you will meet a lot of experts from different parts of the countries of the product management, but also from our IGEL Ready ecosystem. So joining there might be in the first moment looking like, hey, I have 400, 500, 800 people to meet. No, you wouldn't. You just have to sit down and listen to the new IGEL story. So what you can expect and what you will get is the latest of the latest news regarding our Cosmos ecosystem. So I know that you already also shared a couple of informations in prior regarding Cosmos, and we're not GA until now, so I cannot share too much, but I mean, we are knowing that we are launching a new product, which will include a new UMS and a new IGEL OS. And that piece will be the main message that you will get on Disrupt. And please, that's basically the goal from such kind of events. Don't consume only that content. Ask questions. Ask us, what do you want to see from that product? Are we on the right track? We are working for you guys. I mean, you are our customers. You are our partners. You are selling our solution to the market, especially XenTegra, which is extremely highly technical. That's the feedback that we need. So if you ask me what you can expect from a Disrupt event, extremely crispy, interesting discussions between every end user computing expert on the market.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head there. This is Disrupt has rose to, it's kind of the cream of the crop now, where it is the quote unquote EUC conference, where some of the larger conferences are no longer around. So it's the experts are right at your fingertips. So I always encourage people. The sessions themselves are great, but you got to take advantage of the networking events and what I call the hallway track. Whereas you bump into people in the hallway saying, "Hey, who are you? What do you do?" And just have those conversations. You don't just go to events to sit in theaters and get lectured at. You get to build community, to meet, have connections, and just engage. So if you're, a lot of IT folks are, might be stereotyping here, are introverted type of people, but do what you can to get out of your shell a little bit, and you'll get so much more out of the conference. I'm sure if you see Seb Rye walking around the hall, go up, say hi. We're not going to bite your head off, or we're generally nice people. And we'd be happy to kind of do some introductions, bring you to some parties, to show you where all the action is. So just again, high level, Disrupt it's one of the first conferences to come back in person after COVID. Was that, maybe or you don't know, was that a conscious decision made by the IGEL leadership team to say, we're ready to go back. Let's get back in action. Let's get back with our partners, let's get back with our customers in person. Like there's webinars are one thing, podcasts are one thing, but there's no, you can't really replace the feeling, the community, the camaraderie you get from an in-person event. So maybe you could speak to that, maybe you can't.
So we had, I don't know how many discussions regarding that topic. And I must say that if you would have asked me that question 8 months ago, I wouldn't have seen a Disrupt event happening. But since I would say most of part of the Europe, I cannot speak for America and North America in general, but we are taking down the COVID history a little bit down. So we are not that scared anymore. And we know that due to different factors, and I don't want to expand too much on that, the chance that you are getting really sick is decreasing. So that's the reason why we were thinking we don't want to be a super spreader event. That was one of our biggest fears. And I mean, everyone, because we don't want to harm anyone. We all went sick, by the way, but not from COVID after Munich. So it was a standard flu, which is enough, to be honest. But yeah, that was a challenging one. And especially if you think about the time that our marketing people had to create that event in Munich and also in Nashville. I will not tell the exact amount of months, because I hope that you would all enjoy that event as it would have been planned for 3 years. But in fact, it was just a couple of months. And that's the reason why I'm saying, hey, we are really having a great time there. And I mean, we also had, we can discuss absolutely often on that topic too, regarding Nashville. Is that the right place to stay? Is it the right hotel to stay? And I know we also had discussion in the insider group, right? Regarding price of the hotel, price of the event and itself. I mean, we tried our best, and I'm sure that we'll do even better next time. But for the moment, I would say we did extremely good, even if the cost topic and the placement inside of America might not have been better. But to be honest, it was already hard to find a hotel or a place to stay for so much people. Even if we tried already last year, most of the biggest event plans were already booked out. So that was really the best compromise, I would say, to find a place where everyone can meet, where there is an airport nearby and so on. So yeah, by the way, I'm just jumping to a topic because you mentioned Munich and having a great time for networking. There was just one small story I'm remembering from the Disrupt event in Munich, which was extremely fun. I mean, you all know that we have an insider group, so it's a VIP program for IGEL community members who went above and beyond. And we have people from different countries, from Spain, from Italy, from Germany, speaking about Canada. The EMEA part, Canada, US, etc. So the fun fact is, people. We have a booth, by the way, on the Disrupt event, and we already had, and we also had a booth on the Disrupt event in Munich. And people were joining, saying, "Hey, Seb, good to see you in person." And say, "Hey, hi, I don't know, I would tell John Smith." And then I'm seeing another guy from the IGEL community passing another insider and saying, "Hey, you are, I don't know, Barry Browne. do you know this person? You have met him 10 times in meetups. Oh yeah. And then we had a crowd of people coming together and saying, oh, you are this guy. Yes. Oh man, first time we meet in person. It was not on the bar. It was really at the IGEL community booth itself. And that was really fun to have people who never met in person from different countries meeting together from the IGEL community perspective after 5 years, after 4 years of presence, and meeting for the first time. And that was overwhelming, crazy. To be honest.
Yeah, because even just looking at you, how you're at, what is it, 8 inch by 8 inch square on my screen here. I don't know how tall you are. I don't know anything about you, so I could walk by you next week and not even know it.
True.
It's strange.
Yeah, true.
But it's something serious to look forward to. And that looks like you were drinking bourbon there. Is that bourbon?
No.
Okay. It looks like a whiskey bottle.
I mean, I would, but usually not that early in the day. No, it's a mate tea, which is a kind of tea. So it has also a little bit of caffeine. So just a short story, I wouldn't call it addict, but I was drinking 2 or 3 bottles of Red Bull a day. And I quitted smoking and Red Bull a couple of years ago. And I'm just trying to find some other stuff with caffeine inside, which is quite healthy. And that's a kind of tea.
Okay. Now that I know your caffeine addiction, let's talk about, you mentioned the community awards. So
yeah,
assuming nobody knows what these awards are all about, why don't you talk at a high level what the awards are, what can we expect in Nashville, what's the benefits of being an awardee, that kind of thing?
Absolutely. So that's, by the way, the only active session that I have on the Tuesday one. So we have an IGEL VIP program. So for those of you who are not knowing the IGEL community, we are a community on Slack, which are discussing end-user computing topics, not only IGEL related, but Citrix, AVD related. So highly technical people coming together, helping each other, not only IGEL people, but a lot of people from our ecosystem, talking and writing together and helping each other. Most of them are asking a question, getting an answer, and staying there for a couple of weeks and leaving again until the next question is popping up. But then we have people who are there on a daily basis, who are helping, who are also asking questions on a daily basis. They're not only supposed to answer the question, or creating blog articles like you, Barry, on the Azure update over ICG. No, sorry, it was
S3.
AWS. Yeah, correct. Thank you. The S3. People creating video content and so on. So people are really enjoying the IGEL community, but also the IGEL ecosystem. And that's what we are calling the IGEL Insider. So you will get usually awarded one time a year based on different facts, like how present were you during the year, how many help did you provide, how many blog articles did you create, etc., etc. And in the last years, we did that on a virtual form. So we sent out different awards. So let's say the first award that you can get, the IGEL Insider. So you are getting a certificate. Barry, you were there for 4 years, if I remember right?
Yes, I think so.
If I count this year, yeah.
Well, I got these guys.
Yay! That's a VIP one. That's already the next level.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah,
I'm jumping ahead.
No, good for teaser. So we have the agenda. So that's basically people who are there already every day, helping a lot and creating content. And then we have the IGEL VIP, so the very important persons. That's a typical Barry moment. So that's where you are not only there to answer the question, but you're also having fun. You are there. Yeah, no, it's coming. You are there in the insider group. You're also moderating it, and you're feeling more than an insider, and you're delivering more than an insider. Then you are getting VIP. That's the moment, by the way, where even IGEL employees are not awarded anymore, because IGEL employees can get insiders, but cannot be VIPs. So just in case someone is asking, it will not concern IGEL employees. And then we have IGEL Community Member of the Year. That's a tough one, because you can just name one person per region. So one person for North America and one person for EMEA. We already awarded the EMEA one. So for those of you who didn't see it, it's Leon Beitsch, who are creating a lot of documentations regarding Chromium, like an example, how to use Teams in Progressive Web App and Chrome on the IGEL operating system, but also helping a lot on every question which is coming up on Chromium and other IGEL OS operating system questions. So for North America, the award is still not announced. It will be announced on that date. So what you can expect is to have an award session with Jet, with Matthias Haas, or with every important person at IGEL. I mean, I'm on the stage. I'm not the important person, but all the C-level is there.
Give yourself some credit, Seb. Give yourself some credit.
No. And you will get certificate, award, and I will call it some surprises. Let's call it this way. So Jet will be there, and he will, one.
It's not showing up.
That looking neat. Yeah.
There you go.
It's too bright for the camera.
Yeah.
And that's the main part of Tuesday evening. And that's the moment where I was in front of the 800, 900 people. I was extremely nervous. I will try to be less nervous this time. So let's see how many people will join.
Yeah, well, I highly recommend, helping out in the community. The community, the IT community itself is a relatively small community. So, if you give to the community, you can receive as well. So it's kind of I don't know the best way to describe it. It's its own little ecosystem that self-thriving, self-surviving. So just kind of on the tail end of this recording, Seb, one thing you're looking forward to the most in the IGEL Disrupt conference next week, what would that be?
I would say the water park and the hotel. Nah, just kidding.
Hang on. There's a water park?
Yeah. What? Yeah, there is apparently. Yeah, I just saw the picture, so I'm taking my my bathroom with me because apparently there's a kind of water park in the IGEL Hotel.
At the hotel.
Yeah. So no,
Okay.
but besides that, I mean, no, the major part is really to meet all of you. I mean, I'm not the target person for the event. I'm looking forward to all our members, our IGEL customers, our IGEL partners, our IGEL ready partners, because that's the target audience that you would like to address. Making me happy doesn't bring any new customer, neither partner, neither success to the company. Making you guys happy, so having you joining, getting that the feedback that we got on the last Disrupt events, by the way, so on the IGEL Disrupt Roadshow, not the real event, that was less technical and too much, I would call it not publicity, but advertisement. And I hope that we listened enough, because if I look at the agenda, I mean, we still have some portion where you might not be extremely interested because it's a more high-level description. But the IGEL OS Cosmos session from Ivan, an IGEL colleague, will blow your mind. I know that our product management will tell you about the Cosmos ecosystem, but also what the IGEL OS 12 will bring, not maybe at GA, but a couple of months later. And I will just give you a small teaser about what is coming. I mean, I'm not knowing if I'm allowed to speak about that, but the IGEL UMS web app, like an example, is something at the moment which is pretty basic, right? So you can look at your devices, you can shadow it, and that's basically it. Now you can create profiles. You can assign profiles. You can also do more or less everything that you used on your IGEL UMS web Java console and the UMS web app. And the UMS web app will have, not on GA, but later on, a context menu. I know I mentioned it already in the session with Simon T last week, but that was one of the features I asked for 2 years and they listened. So coming back to your point, what can you expect? Every question that you asked in the IGEL community regarding OS 12 about the next 3-year plan for IGEL will be answered there. And if you're not able to attend, because traveling is not allowed or you're not allowed to join the event, just join us on igelcommunity.com, go to -disrupt, and I will try to share as much as possible information there, just in case you couldn't join.
Excellent. Just towards the end of this, I got to put on my XenTegra hat for a second here and talk about the XenTegra event we're putting on Monday night between 7 and 10 at Finley's Irish Pub. If you're interested in joining us, let me know. I'll be happy to get you an invite. Come hang out. You get to hang out with me for a little while because I'll be there. And with that being said, look forward to next week in Nashville. Not looking forward to the traveling piece so much, but it's nature of the beast. But I can't wait to get there, meet the IGEL team, the IGEL community members, record our live podcast, and maybe have a beer or two.
One beer? Just two? Truly? Okay,
that's just warming up.
Okay, like it. Great.
So with that being said, let's call this a podcast, Ed. And once we have the details finalized for our live in-person, Lights, Camera, Action
Yay!
podcast in Nashville. We'll share that with the community. You got to explain, Seb, what is that?
It's a Flipper Zero. So it's a mobile hacking tool for radio. And it's finally there. So if someone is listening, it's there. I couldn't wait, but it's there. I'm not sure what I want to do with it, but I already like it.
Excellent. Okay, Seb, so next time we speak, we'll be in the US of A.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Safe travels, my friend, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you, Barry. All my best. See you soon.
Bye-bye.